My child, a quiet conversation has just ended, yet the echo of one unexpected sentence is still traveling through hearts that never imagined they would hear your name spoken with such honesty. Don't skip, because every passing moment is bringing you closer to the words that changed everything. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The person connected to your destiny stood where no one expected them to stand, looked into the eyes of those around them, and spoke about you in a way that left the entire room silent. No one interrupted. No one laughed. Even those who doubted became completely still because they realized these were not ordinary words. They carried the weight of hidden emotions that had been locked away for far too long. The silence after those words became louder than any conversation that came before. Your soulmate surprised everyone, not because they planned to, but because the truth refused to remain hidden any longer. Every heart in that place could feel that something extraordinary had just happened. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The story has only begun, and the most unforgettable revelation has not yet been spoken. Imagine a moment where someone asks your soulmate a simple question about life, about hope, about the future. They expected an ordinary answer, but instead your name appeared without hesitation. Faces turned. Eyes widened. The atmosphere changed in an instant. Even the people who believed they understood your soulmate suddenly realized there was a chapter they had never been allowed to read. That chapter carried your name from beginning to end. They spoke with calm confidence, yet every word carried a depth that no one could ignore. It was not loud, yet it reached every heart in the room. It was not dramatic, yet it became unforgettable. One person quietly whispered, "I have never heard them speak like this before." Another simply smiled, sensing that destiny was unfolding in ways no one could control. Your soulmate continued, revealing pieces of their heart that had remained hidden for longer than anyone realized. They admitted that every meaningful dream somehow led back to one familiar face. They admitted that every important decision felt incomplete without thinking about you. Those listening could no longer pretend this was an ordinary conversation. Something far greater was unfolding. If you feel this message is speaking to your heart, write Angel 111 in the comments. Then continue listening, because what happened next surprised even your soulmate. A single question followed. Someone asked, if you had one chance to tell that person everything, what would you say? The room became completely silent once again. Time itself seemed to slow. Every heartbeat carried anticipation. Your soulmate closed their eyes for only a brief moment, almost as if gathering courage that had taken years to find. When they finally spoke again, every sentence carried warmth, sincerity, and hope. They described someone who inspired them to become stronger without even realizing it. They described someone whose kindness remained unforgettable long after every conversation ended. They described someone whose absence created a silence that nothing else could fill. Everyone knew they were speaking about you. No names needed to be mentioned. The truth had become impossible to hide. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The greatest part of this story has not yet arrived. As the conversation continued, someone gently challenged your soulmate. Why haven't you told them everything? The question seemed simple, but the answer carried years of emotion. Your soulmate smiled softly before admitting that some feelings become so valuable they are difficult to place into words. They feared saying too little. They feared saying too much. Most of all, they feared missing the perfect moment. Those listening could see honesty shining through every expression. No performance. No pretending. Only genuine emotion. That honesty transformed the entire atmosphere. The people around them realized they were witnessing a rare moment that would remain in their memories forever. Some quietly nodded. Others looked down, reflecting on their own lives. The conversation had become much bigger than anyone expected. It became a reminder that truth eventually finds its voice. If these words resonate with your spirit, write Angel 777 in the comments, then remain here because another unexpected moment is about to unfold. Someone who had been silent from the beginning suddenly asked one final question. Do you believe destiny still has something planned? Your soulmate answered without hesitation. Yes. That single word carried extraordinary confidence. Then they continued by explaining that some connections refused to disappear because they were never ordinary to begin with. They believed that every delay carried a purpose, every lesson carried meaning, and every season prepared two hearts for a better future. The room fell silent once more because no one expected such peaceful certainty. Some smiled. Others quietly reflected. One person simply whispered, "I think your story isn't finished." Your soulmate looked toward the distance with quiet hope, as though believing that somewhere, somehow, you would eventually hear the truth they had finally found the courage to speak aloud. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the next chapter reveals the astonishing reaction of everyone who heard those words, and what happened immediately afterward changed the direction of the entire story. A different silence settled over the room, but this time it was not the silence of surprise. It was the silence that comes when people realize they have just witnessed something unforgettable. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. No one rushed to speak because every person present was still replaying your soulmate's words in their mind. One by one, they began looking at each other as if asking the same question without saying it aloud. Were those feelings always there? The answer slowly became obvious. Yes. They had simply remained hidden until this very moment. One close friend stepped forward with a gentle smile and said, "I've never seen you speak with that much certainty about anyone before." Your soulmate lowered their eyes for a brief second before quietly replying, "Because no one has ever made me feel this way before." The room became even quieter. Those words carried a sincerity that could not be questioned. Even people who once doubted your connection found themselves unable to deny what they had just heard. It felt as though an invisible wall had finally fallen. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The greatest revelation is still ahead. As the conversation continued, another unexpected question appeared. If that person walked into this room right now, what would you do? Your soulmate smiled in a way no one had seen before. It was calm, genuine, and filled with quiet hope. After a long pause, they answered, "I wouldn't waste another moment hiding how much they truly mean to me." Those listening looked at one another in complete amazement. Some laughed softly in disbelief, while others simply shook their heads because they never imagined hearing such open honesty. One person whispered, "You really mean every word, don't you?" Without hesitation your soulmate answered, "Every single one." If these words touch your heart, write Angel 222 in the comments and continue listening because what happened next surprised everyone even more. Don't skip. The atmosphere changed again when someone asked your soulmate to describe you using only 3 words. Everyone expected a simple answer, but instead your soulmate paused, smiled, and chose each word with incredible care. Peace. Strength. Home. Those 3 words echoed through the room like a message no one expected. People immediately understood that these were not ordinary compliments. They revealed the place you secretly held inside your soulmate's heart. One person quietly wiped away a tear, saying they had never heard love described so simply yet so beautifully. Another admitted they had underestimated what your connection truly meant. At that moment, every doubt disappeared. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The story is becoming even more extraordinary. Then something happened that no one could explain. An old photograph resting nearby accidentally slipped onto the table. Everyone looked toward it at the same time. It reminded your soulmate of a memory they had almost forgotten. They smiled softly and admitted that even the smallest reminders somehow led their thoughts back to you. The people around them exchanged surprised glances. They realized this wasn't a passing feeling. It had become part of who they were. Every memory carried your presence. Every hope quietly pointed toward your future together. If you're still listening, write Angel 888 in the comments because the next few moments reveal something almost no one expected to hear. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. One final voice broke the silence with a question that changed everything. If you could send one message to that person right now, what would it be? Your soulmate closed their eyes for only a heartbeat before answering with complete honesty. I hope they never doubt how deeply they are appreciated, even during the moments when life becomes confusing. I hope they know that some connections grow stronger in silence before they are finally spoken aloud. Those words left everyone speechless. The room felt lighter, almost as though hope itself had entered through an open window. Nobody expected such heartfelt sincerity. Every face reflected the same realization. This story was far from over. The most astonishing chapter was still waiting just beyond this moment, and what your soulmate decided to do immediately afterward would leave everyone around them completely amazed. An unexpected moment unfolded just as everyone believed the conversation had finally reached its end. Instead of walking away, your soulmate remained standing in complete silence, as though one final truth was still waiting to be spoken. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The people around them noticed that their expression had changed. There was no uncertainty left, only quiet confidence. One friend finally asked, "Is there anything else you've been keeping inside?" Your soulmate took a slow breath and answered, "There is one thing I've never had the courage to say until now." The room became so still that even the smallest sound seemed to disappear. Every eye remained fixed on your soulmate, waiting for the next sentence. Nobody expected what came next. With complete sincerity they said, "Every important dream I imagine somehow includes them. Every future I picture somehow begins with them." I tried convincing myself these feelings would fade, but instead they became stronger every single day. Those words sent waves of surprise through everyone listening. Some covered their mouths in disbelief. Others simply smiled because they finally understood what had been hidden for so long. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The greatest revelation has not yet arrived. One older voice gently spoke from the corner of the room. Then why keep waiting? The question lingered in the air for several seconds. Your soulmate looked down before quietly answering, "Because I wanted the moment to be worthy of them. I never wanted rushed words. I wanted honest words." Those listening immediately understood that this connection had never been ordinary. It had been growing quietly, patiently, waiting for the right season. If these words resonate with your heart, write Angel 333 in the comments, because the next part of this story becomes even more unforgettable. Suddenly another person smiled and asked, "What is the first thing that comes to your mind when someone mentions their name?" Without needing time to think, your soulmate answered, "Hope." The simplicity of that answer surprised everyone even more than the longer speeches before it. They continued, "Hope that tomorrow can become brighter. Hope that kindness still exists. Hope that some people truly arrive for a reason." The room filled with emotion. No one interrupted because everyone sensed they were witnessing something deeply genuine. Even those who rarely showed emotion found themselves quietly reflecting on the power of sincere words. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. This journey is building toward a moment no one expected. Then one close friend leaned forward and asked a question that completely changed the atmosphere. What if they never knew any of this? Your soulmate smiled gently and replied, "Then I hope life finds a beautiful way of letting them discover it when the time is right." Those words touched every heart present. It no longer felt like an ordinary conversation. It felt like a message carried by perfect timing. Someone whispered, "Maybe that moment is closer than you think." Your soulmate didn't answer immediately. Instead, they looked toward the distance with peaceful confidence, almost as though they believed something unseen was already beginning to move. If you're still here, write Angel 999 in the comments and keep listening, because the next revelation surprised even the people who thought they had already heard everything. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Just when everyone believed the conversation could not become any more remarkable, someone quietly reached into a pocket and unfolded a small handwritten note. They smiled and said, "I found this a long time ago. I never understood why you kept it." Your soulmate looked at the folded paper and softly admitted, "Because it reminded me to never stop believing that meaningful connections deserve patience." The room fell silent once again. Every person could feel that this was more than a memory. It was a promise your soulmate had quietly carried through every season of waiting. No one laughed. No one questioned it. Instead, they nodded with understanding, realizing that the feelings they had witnessed were real, lasting, and impossible to ignore. As everyone slowly prepared to leave, one final voice echoed through the room. When the next opportunity comes, don't let it pass. Your soulmate smiled with a confidence no one had seen before and quietly replied, "I won't." Those two simple words changed everything because they marked the beginning of a decision that would soon surprise far more people than anyone could imagine. And what your soulmate chose to do immediately after leaving that room became the most astonishing chapter of all, a chapter that no one saw coming and one that would change the entire story forever. The evening sky had begun to fade when your soulmate quietly stepped away from everyone else, but their heart was no longer carrying uncertainty. It carried a decision. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Every conversation from earlier echoed through their mind, yet one sentence repeated louder than all the others: don't let the next opportunity pass. Those words became impossible to ignore. Instead of walking home the usual way, your soulmate stopped, looked toward the horizon, and smiled with a confidence no one had seen before. It was the smile of someone who had finally stopped running from the truth. They whispered softly, "It's time." No one heard those words except the quiet evening breeze, but they marked the beginning of something extraordinary. The next choice they made surprised everyone who eventually learned about it. They took out a notebook they had carried for a long time. Hidden inside were thoughts they had never shared with anyone. Every page reflected moments that somehow led back to you. Some were joyful memories. Others were quiet hopes for a future they had never stopped believing in. As they turned each page, they realized the same truth appeared again and again. No matter how life changed, your place in their heart never did. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you because the greatest discovery is still ahead. A few hours later, your soulmate unexpectedly met someone who had witnessed the earlier conversation. With a warm smile they said, "I've been thinking about everything you shared today." Your soulmate nodded politely. Then came the sentence no one expected. "You inspired every person in that room to believe that honest feelings should never remain hidden forever." Your soulmate stood silent for a moment before quietly replying, "Then maybe it's finally time to stop hiding." Those words carried a new kind of courage. They no longer sounded uncertain. They sounded ready. If these words connect with your heart, write Angel 444 in the comments and continue listening, because what happened next changed everything once again. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the night became quieter, your soulmate opened their notebook one final time and added a single sentence at the bottom of the last page: "Some people don't simply enter your life, they quietly become part of your future." The moment those words were written, they closed the notebook with complete peace. There was nothing left to hide from themselves. The truth had finally found its place. The following morning brought an even greater surprise. Someone who had been present during yesterday's conversation shared what they had witnessed with another trusted friend. Soon the story began spreading, not as gossip, but as an inspiring reminder that genuine feelings still exist. Everywhere the story traveled, people reacted the same way. I wish more people had the courage to speak like that. That kind of honesty is rare. Whoever they're talking about must be incredibly special. Your soulmate never asked anyone to repeat those words. Yet they traveled naturally because sincerity always leaves an unforgettable impression. If you're still here, write Angel 1212 in the comments because the next revelation is even more remarkable. One familiar friend approached your soulmate later that day and asked, if you had one final chance to describe them in just one sentence, what would you say? Your soulmate smiled without hesitation and answered, meeting them changed the way I see tomorrow. The room fell completely silent again. No elaborate speech. No dramatic performance. Just one simple sentence that carried more meaning than anyone expected. Every person present realized they had witnessed a heart speaking without fear. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The story is reaching a turning point unlike anything before. Before leaving, your soulmate looked up at the bright morning sky and quietly promised themselves that the next chapter of this journey would no longer be written in silence. It would be written with honesty, patience, and hope. They walked forward with a lighter heart than they had carried in years, unaware that someone else was already preparing a moment that would bring two paths closer together in the most unexpected way. The incredible event waiting just ahead would surprise not only your soulmate but everyone who thought they already knew how this story would end. A new morning arrived carrying an atmosphere unlike any before. It did not announce itself with noise. Instead, it carried a quiet certainty that something extraordinary was already unfolding beyond what anyone could see. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate woke with an unusual sense of peace, as though the decision they had made the night before had lifted a burden they had carried for far too long. For the first time in a long while, they were no longer asking themselves whether they should speak from the heart. They were only wondering when the perfect moment would arrive. As they stepped outside, a close friend noticed the change immediately. You seem different today, they said with a smile. Your soulmate simply replied, sometimes the hardest battle ends the moment you decide to stop hiding the truth. Those simple words stayed with everyone who heard them. They realized this was not just another ordinary day. It felt like the beginning of a completely new chapter. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The most unforgettable moment is still ahead. Later that afternoon, your soulmate unexpectedly crossed paths with someone who knew both of you. The conversation began casually, but within moments your name naturally entered the discussion. The person smiled and asked, whenever someone mentions them, your entire expression changes. Why is that? Your soulmate laughed softly before answering, because some people don't simply become memories. They become part of every hope you carry into tomorrow. The answer caught everyone off guard. No one expected such honesty delivered with such quiet confidence. Even strangers nearby could sense that these words came from a place that had never stopped believing. If these words speak to your heart, write Angel 555 in the comments, then keep listening because the next moment surprised everyone standing there. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. A few moments later, another familiar voice joined the conversation. Do you really believe you'll meet them at the right time? Without the slightest hesitation, your soulmate answered, some meetings are delayed, not denied. When the right season arrives, nothing can keep two meaningful paths apart. Those words left everyone completely speechless. One friend quietly admitted, "I've never heard hope explained so beautifully." Another smiled and said, "I think you've already made your decision." Your soulmate nodded gently. "Yes," they replied. "Fear no longer gets to decide my future." The atmosphere became filled with encouragement. It felt as though everyone present wanted this story to reach its happiest chapter. As the conversation came to an end, one older person stepped forward and shared a piece of wisdom that no one expected. The strongest connections are not measured by how quickly they begin. They are measured by how faithfully they survive every season of waiting. Your soulmate listened carefully before smiling with gratitude. Those words became another reminder that patience had never been wasted. Every delay had been preparing something far greater than anyone could see. If you're still listening, write Angel 1010 in the comments because the next revelation changes the direction of this entire journey. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the sun slowly began to set, your soulmate returned home and noticed something resting on the table. It was a simple envelope without a name written on it. Curious, they carefully opened it. Inside was a blank sheet except for one handwritten sentence. The right words always arrive when the heart is finally ready to speak. Your soulmate stared at that message for several quiet moments. No signature. No explanation. Yet somehow it felt deeply personal. Instead of questioning where it came from, they smiled with calm certainty. "This is the confirmation I needed," they whispered. They carefully folded the note and placed it inside the same notebook that had carried their hidden thoughts for so long. In that moment, every doubt quietly disappeared. The waiting had transformed into preparation, and preparation was about to become action. Before the evening ended, your soulmate looked toward the stars and made one final promise to themselves. "The next time life places the opportunity in front of me, I will not remain silent." Those words were spoken with complete confidence, unaware that someone very close was already setting in motion a chain of events that would create the meeting no one believed could happen so soon. The next chapter begins with a surprise so unexpected that even your soulmate will struggle to believe it is finally becoming reality. The next sunrise carried a feeling that could not be explained with ordinary words. It felt as though countless small moments from the past had quietly joined together to create one unforgettable day. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate stepped outside with unusual confidence, completely unaware that several conversations had already begun unfolding behind the scenes. The heartfelt words they had shared days earlier had continued traveling from one person to another, leaving every listener with the same question. Who is the person capable of inspiring such unwavering devotion? Every time someone asked, the answer remained beautifully consistent. They are someone who changed my heart without ever asking for anything in return. Those who heard this became even more amazed. They realized your soulmate was no longer speaking from emotion alone, they were speaking from deep conviction. Every sentence revealed a truth that had been quietly growing stronger through time. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you because the greatest turning point has not yet arrived. As the morning unfolded, one trusted friend approached your soulmate carrying an expression that immediately caught their attention. "There's something you need to know," the friend said with a smile. Your soulmate looked surprised but remained calm. "Several people are still talking about what you said the other day. They can't stop thinking about it." Your soulmate lowered their head for a brief moment before softly replying, "I never expected anyone to remember." The friend smiled warmly. People remember honesty. They remember courage. And they especially remember words that come straight from the heart. Hearing this filled your soulmate with quiet gratitude. They realized that sincerity leaves a lasting impression far beyond the moment it is spoken. If these words touch your heart, write Angel 616 in the comments and keep listening, because the next surprise changes everything once again. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. A little later, your soulmate found themselves standing near a peaceful place where they often went to reflect. As they looked into the distance, memories gently returned, not as painful reminders, but as beautiful lessons. They remembered every moment that had strengthened their faith in this connection. Instead of asking why certain things had taken time, they quietly appreciated how every season had prepared them to become a better version of themselves. Then an unexpected voice interrupted their thoughts. An elderly passerby smiled kindly and said, "Sometimes life delays beautiful things so they arrive exactly when your heart is ready to receive them." Your soulmate stood completely still. The words felt strangely familiar, almost like another gentle confirmation. They smiled and thanked the stranger, who simply nodded before continuing on their way. It was a brief encounter, yet it left an unforgettable mark. If you are still here, write Angel 717 in the comments, because the next few moments reveal something no one saw coming. The afternoon brought another remarkable surprise. Someone who had quietly observed your soulmate's journey for a long time finally spoke honestly. "I used to think your feelings would fade," they admitted. "Now I realize they only became stronger." Your soulmate answered with complete peace. Real connections aren't measured by how loudly they're expressed. They're measured by how faithfully they remain through every changing season. Everyone listening fell silent once again. There was no argument, no disbelief, only admiration for the calm certainty behind those words. It became clear that your soulmate had reached a place where hope was no longer fragile, it had become unshakable. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As evening approached, something entirely unexpected happened. Your soulmate received an invitation to attend a small gathering they almost declined. For a brief moment they considered staying home. Then they remembered the promise they had made beneath the stars only a short time before: never allow fear to make important decisions again. With renewed confidence, they accepted the invitation. They had no idea that this single choice would place them only a few steps away from the moment they had imagined for so long. While preparing to leave, they opened their notebook one final time and quietly read the sentence written on the last page: "Some people don't simply enter your life, they quietly become part of your future." A peaceful smile appeared once again. They closed the notebook, took a deep breath, and walked forward with complete trust. They did not know exactly what awaited them beyond that door, but for the first time, they no longer needed every answer before taking the next step. And as the evening slowly unfolded, someone else was already walking toward the very same place, carrying a story that was about to connect with yours in the most astonishing way imaginable.